Hockey's back, and not just any hockey, Colorado Avalanche hockey, as for the first time in over 4 months, the Avs played a hockey game. Yes, it might just be an exhibition game, but nonetheless, the Avs win over the Minnesota Wild 3-2. Now, this was without a doubt a rusty, sloppy, junky hockey game that you would imagine preseason should exactly look like. Nonetheless, it was still extremely entertaining from top to bottom and a bit of a roller coaster ride as well. Why wait to give the fans what they want? Sure, they cannot be in the building, but they're still here to see goals, and it takes less than 90 seconds for the Avs to create the first one. A rare center ice face-off on a puck out of play. Compher is going to win a puck back clean to EJ. You gotta love seeing the Avs win face-offs, as outside of Kadri, it's something they've struggled with. But this one, it's an easy win. EJ, not going to do anything complicated here. Maybe even almost a set play, as he's just going to fire it in on the far side. On Nemesnikov, you can see he's already spun off his man and is just going to chug towards the offensive zone here to collect the puck around the rim. Comes off nicely for him. He doesn't think twice about this one, keeps it simple, fires the puck on a slapper towards the lock, and he keeps this puck low, Keeley. He's not shooting to score a goal here. He is shooting to create a second chance opportunity. That's exactly what happens. Stalock gives up a very juicy rebound off of his left pad. Donskoy beats his man to the spot and basically has the entire net to shoot at. He actually pushes it back towards Stalock. Stalock nearly saves it, but at the end, it's in the net. Welcome back. Goals, nice to see you. There would be a handful more still to come, but from here on out, the game would be extremely disjointed. There would be 30 penalty minutes from both teams combined in this game, and that not quite accounts to half the game, as some of them would overlap at times, but significant portions of this game played at special teams. The Avs are the first ones to get themselves into trouble in that regard, as they take a penalty of their own. Minnesota matches it 30 seconds later, only for the Avs to take another one, creating another rare situation, the 4-on-3, and the Avs end up paying the price. 4-on-3 situation, the Avs opting with the two-forward approach defending here with JT Compher and Matt Nieto. Minnesota basically has a ton of room on the perimeter, which is pretty normal. The Avs sticking to their triangle, getting some rotations in with Compher almost working back down as a defenseman in this situation. And you can see some confusion here as Graves is trying to balance taking the puck carrier and figuring out where Compher's going to go. Compher initially taking the man down low, leaving two out up high. But you're going to see as Graves pushes towards the puck carrier to challenge and force play, Compher just kind of ends up getting stuck in the middle. He's not really defending the man that Graves is trying to take the pass away from anyway, and he doesn't really get out to defend Matt Dumba either. So he ends up defending nothing. The puck comes right past him, just out of his reach. Dumba's able to load up and fire and beat Grubauer under the arm. So what's the lesson here? Don't put that many players in the box. The Avs did take way too many penalties in this game. Simple as that. Admittedly, the reffing was a little bit all over the place, but when you give Minnesota 8 power play chances, I mean, of course they're going to score on one of them. So penalty issues would continue to plague the Avs through the rest of this game. However, as the game went on, the penalty kill certainly seemed to figure it out. Not giving up any more 4-on-3s helped, but at 5-on-4, it got better in a hurry. So, 2 goals about 3 minutes in. Why stop there? Everybody here is waiting for the big guns to show up, and McKinnon doesn't even wait for the 5-minute mark to remind you that, yes, he does deserve an MVP trophy. We're going to run through this whole sequence because there's a lot to take in. The puck is tripping towards the first boards, and then Makar comes in and is the first player to it. But the play is a lot more complicated than that. Makar gets collapsed on by 2 Wild players, aggressive on the forecheck, but is able to muscle his way through, not pretty, not clean, but lays out to push the puck to safety, and his D partner in Nikita Zadorov, who all of a sudden, because of Makar's play, has all the space and time in the world to make whatever breakout he opts for. He hits Landeskog up the ice, who again shows extreme patience. He's going to gain his own blue line here, but sucker in 2 Minnesota Wild players. Firstly, Matt Dumba defending him directly. That makes sense. But he also gets Eric Stahl puck watching and looking at him collapsing towards the puck, while Nathan MacKinnon just gets to skate right up the center of the ice. Landeskog then, once Eric Staal is fully committed, just kind of pitches it over to MacKinnon, and now there is a straight line up the ice. MacKinnon, you give him that, well, yeah, he's going to go fast. Brad Hunt never had a chance. By the time he's turned around, MacKinnon is already closing in on the circles. Not even fair. He picks his spot, and Stalock, just get out of the way, bud. You're beat. I missed that quite a bit. Vintage Nathan MacKinnon. You'll love to see it. That boy can skate, that boy can snipe, and great team play around him to open up the ice and give him that opportunity. In these playoffs, the Avs are going to score a lot of goals that way. The Avs reclaim their 2-1 lead, and all is well. However, Minnesota does control the rest of the first period. They dominate possession pretty heavily, particularly against the Avs' depth, and outshoot them 16-10 in the period. The Avs do get one power play chance that unfortunately looks like the old way as well, as they fail to register a shot on goal on it. And with everything good about hockey returning, well, there's gotta be a little bit of balance. Fickle hockey gods have also returned as well. Later in the period, the Avs just get a few unlucky bounces, and it ends up in the back of their net. The Wild are able to establish offensive zone possession with a nice zone entry up the near boards here, but they never really look dangerous in this play. One nice centering pass seems to create an opportunity, but they just go back to the boards and defer here, back up to the blue line, where a shot does come in, but you give the shot up all day. It's not dangerous. It's not even really very strong. There's no Wild player even in front of Grubauer here, so if you let him see the lane, he's probably going to stop this one. Unfortunately, the shot comes in. You can just see it there. It's going to deflect awkwardly off of Nemesnikov and over towards the side where Eric Staal is standing in behind the net. You saw it there, bounce off of Eric Staal's body. It falls perfectly down to his stick on the ice, and he basically just gets to touch it home. Absolutely no chance for Grubauer, and just unfortunate in many ways. If the hockey gods want Minnesota to score a stupid goal, who am I to question their ways? Because there's not very much you can do about one as silly as that. Minnesota gets rewarded for controlling possession in the period. The Avs take their knocks, and it's 2-2 after one, but you got to like the skill the Avs showed. The second period saw both teams tighten things up quite a bit defensively. Things started getting crisper and cleaner, some of that rust shaking off. There were still some errant passes, but things started to get better and better as the game went on. Except for one thing, those penalties that I mentioned. And early in the second period, it was Minnesota's turn to take a couple. They get dinged for 3, technically. It ends up being a 5-on-3 situation for 2 minutes. There were matching minors between Kadri and Foligno, and then Minnesota took 2 more. It's actually a minute 30 of 5-on-3, a little separation between a couple of the penalties. But a situation like that, Minnesota scored on their 4-on-3. The Avs have to score on the 5-on-3, and that's exactly what they do. Makar is able to recover a puck and work the perimeter here. I don't love the Avs setup with MacKinnon up high, as we've seen many, many times, but they actually move away from that, and I really like the play that ends up happening as Makar works it down low to Mikko, and you're just going to see some vintage Mikko passing here. He's given all the time in the world. He waits for things to open up, waits for players to collapse, eventually finds Cale Makar just kind of sneaking into the soft spot in the, we'll call it the slot. It's pretty much the slot. Makar fires one off, but the save actually gets made. Credit to Stalock there. The rebound pops out, though. Landy, Johnny on the spot, standing in the dirty area. Doesn't even have to try too hard with this one. He put in the hard work and finishes the job. The captain leading the way here. It might not be the prettiest plays all the time, but he makes the smart play and the effective play. The only player in the entire game to record 2 points, and that one right there ends up being the game-winning goal as well. The rest of the game was pretty washy, fairly even back and forth both ways. Again, as I mentioned, the defense started locking things down. The high-quality chances came fewer and further between. There was a goaltender switch for both teams at the halfway point. Francouz came in for the Avs. Dubnyk came in for the Wild, and honestly, neither of them saw a ton of action compared to the first 2 goalies. The chippiness level of the game did turn up quite a bit after that Avs third goal. Nothing outrageous, but they were getting into it a little bit more than I expected from an exhibition game. And the play just kind of wound its way out through the second period and even into the third period. Very slow. compared to the first. The Avs were the team putting themselves in trouble with regularity by taking far too many penalties, and that's an issue. It needs to be addressed. You cannot give a team 8 power play chances in the playoffs. They will make you pay. However, the penalty kill held it down for him, even when Connor Timmins took a 4-minute minor, hit Foligno in the face, and drew blood. The Avs just absolutely locked it down. Did not really give any quality chances to Minnesota at all. And this is an Avs defense playing without Sam Girard, who is fine, just took a maintenance day and will be good to go, but one of the key defensive defenders for the Avs out, and they were still able to lock things down extremely well. That's very encouraging. I honestly struggled to pick out any player that had a truly bad game relative to everyone else. Again, there was plenty of sloppiness, but that was to be expected as they shake the rust off in as close to a real game situation as you can actually get. Would like to see a bit more out of the bottom 6. Donskoy and Nemesnikov combined for that 1 goal, but other than that, them and the fourth line got pretty crushed when it came to possession metrics. That's going to hurt in the playoffs, and the expectation is that depth can take the Avs a long way. We did not see that in this game at all. Ultimately, though, the Avs gave everybody what they wanted. Not only a win, but their top players came out and played like the top players. You love to see it. You hope there's plenty more of that to come. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Y'all, I'm sure, remember the drill from 4 months ago. If you're not watching this from DNVR.com, head on over there to check out all the rest of our coverage. And if you really like it, consider subscribing either here on YouTube or to the site. I am Rudo, and it feels like it's been years since I've done this. I'm so glad that we're back.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again. With Nate the dog and Gabe the babe. The fun isn't over yet. It is Avalanche time.